Hi, folks. Larry Rolla here. Okay, tonight you got to pay attention. Very, very important uh, topic we're going to talk about, and I want you to take this number down. This is my information, and if what you hear tonight you're interested and want to hear more, just contact me at this number or my email. All right? And what we're going to be talking about tonight is about an interview that was done that will explain everything about this company that my friend Lou Paulucci put together. So that's my information. This is the company he put together. And before we start the interview, I just want to say a couple of things. It's about the rideshare industry, and that market is a major. It's a major business, and it's valued at, I think, $6.5 billion, and that was in 1923. It's projected to reach close to $500 billion by the year 2032, with a compound annual growth rate of 18.5%. That's major stuff. But here's the problem. Since Uber started, their fares went up more than 65%, while the driver's pay stayed the same. The reason for the increased fares was to pay off lawsuits which exceeded $330 billion and investors. In the 5 boroughs alone, there are more than 180,000 TLC drivers, averaging approximately 1 million rides a day, producing right around $35 million a day in revenue. And for years, Uber and Lyft systematically cheated these drivers out of hundreds of millions of dollars in pay. The drivers started out with Uber and Lyft with a guarantee of 70% of the fare. Today, drivers typically receive an average of about 35 to 50% of the fare, and some drivers receiving as little as 20 to 25%. Naturally, this average fluctuates based on the type of ride and the distance of the trip. So in my opinion, the reason I think my friend Lou's company, YUR Drivers Network, that's on the screen right now, will take over and revolutionize the rideshare industry in 5 boroughs of New York is because of the 20% boost in driver's pay, the 5% referral commission, no surge pricing, and other patented safety guards. Now, I'd like to play for you the interview Lou did with our new friend Brian Boyd, the CEO of CCB Marketing. In this interview, he'll talk about the rideshare business, how he came up with the idea, how it's structured, and plans for the future. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. I hope you wrote these numbers down because this is a serious business. So let's just get right to the interview. And this is Brian's information. He has a wonderful company. They do a lot of stuff. They deal with a lot of important people, and you should check it out. This is his company. This is his company. And we're going to go right to the interview right now. It's an audio interview, so I'll leave this up for a while so you can get some of Brian's information. And here we go. And then after this interview is over, we'll talk a little bit more. I'll answer any questions you might have, and we'll go from there. So here we go.
Hello, my name is Lewis Palucci. I'm the CEO of YUR Drivers Network, and I'm striving to disrupt the rideshare industry to make it a more equitable and transparent environment that will benefit both drivers and passengers alike.
I'm Brian Boyd, and today on Conversations with Giants, we are talking to a giant in the rideshare industry, Lewis Palucci. Now, he's done a lot more than that, so I'm really excited for today's conversation. Lewis, welcome to the podcast.
Well, thank you for having me on, Brian. Pleasure to be here.
Oh, I'm really glad you're here, too. You sound like you're probably from the Northeast. Where are you from?
Originally from the Bronx, but I'm in northern New Jersey now.
That's great. How long were you in the Bronx? Did you grow up there? Or?
Yeah, my early childhood, and then I moved to New Jersey in grammar school.
A lot of Yankees games? Are you Yankees? I guess you're not Mets. You're Yankees, probably.
No, I was more the Mets.
Wow.
More of a Mets fan, yeah.
That's great. That's great. Well, it's great to have you on today. We want to talk a lot today about ride sharing, and everyone knows about it. You know, you use it in urban cities, in rural areas. Of course, we're huge in airports. I just came off of a trip where we were using it internationally. But before we get into that and what you've created in this company, tell us about you, Lewis. What's your background and what's your history? Where did you come from?
Well, I went to school for hotel and restaurant management in college, and after leaving that, I wound up running a stable of horses. But the whole time during this, my father had a company that was in the pharmaceutical industry, so we did printing and binding, dealt with sales reps from pharmaceutical companies for years. So I've done that forever, and wound up with steel rule die companies and everything of that nature. Worked with a lot of executives from pharmaceutical companies from Johnson and Johnson to Bristol Myers Squibb to Merck, all things like that. So I've gotten to know a lot of people in that industry, and through that and working through that, I've learned how to deal with customers on a high level client basis. Yeah. So you have to respect people when you're in that industry. So that's how I've used that experience in that industry to help come up with this idea for this application.
So you've always been entrepreneurial? Do you like the whole startup lifestyle?
Yeah, I've always had projects that I've done with a couple of partners of mine on the side.
That's cool. So what was the impetus for well, let's talk about that. What is the YUR Drivers Network? Tell us what that is.
Well, it's a new rideshare app that's going to both benefit passengers and drivers. So there are a number of different things that we implemented in this application, and basically there were complaints from drivers. I use rideshare a lot, and what I found out was that the drivers were complaining all the time. They were overworked and underpaid. And
sure.
So I asked friends of mine that were using rideshare, and they were complaining about the surge pricing and how they felt like they were getting ripped off. So I said, gee whiz, I wonder if there's something that can be done here. So what I did was I took a deeper dive into it, and I started driving for these bigger companies. And then through that, I got to know a lot of drivers, and I got to know a lot of passengers by talking to them and asking them about their experiences. And I got the same answers basically all the time. Passengers were sick of the inconsistent pricing, and drivers were sick of not getting paid what the passengers were paying. And it was really confusing. So
let's back up a second, Lewis. So you're a customer of rideshare, like a lot of us are.
Yeah.
You hear the rumors, you hear there's problems. So you say, I'm going to get in the middle of it to be in it, so I actually know what they're going through, right? So you actually work for a rideshare company.
Correct.
How long were you actually driving people around to get an idea of what was going on? Did you do it just for a couple weeks or a couple days?
No, I did over 1,700 rides.
Wow.
For all this research and development.
Urban area, rural area, where'd you go?
Yeah, I went all over the place to the airports. I only drove in New Jersey, but I wound up meeting a lot of TLC drivers from New York, being at the airport, Hoboken, Jersey City, all over New Jersey. It took you all over the application. So it wound up all over the place, even taking people to New York. And then you couldn't pick up anybody in New York because you didn't have a TLC license to go back to New Jersey. So you'd come back empty-handed.
Right.
Which
So
was
you got in the
another
thick of it.
whole disaster for a driver.
Let's talk about before we move on, let's talk about your driving. I've heard rumors of incredible rude passengers that affect drivers. And did you ever was there any of those drives, 1700 drives, that stand out in your mind as being, why am I doing this? Why am I driving?
I really didn't run into too many rude passengers. Everybody was pretty nice, so long as you were nice to them. If you keep your car clean and everything, I never really ran into rude passengers during that whole experience. And guys that say they have rude passengers, I guess they do. Maybe they're drunk or whatever late at night, but
sure.
I didn't run into them. I really didn't. I can't say that I had.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Did you get 5 stars throughout your 1700 drives? I hope so.
4.85. So
okay,
not too bad.
That's good. So you do this. You have this idea. You hear the rumors. You're driving 1700 drives around. You think there's a better way to do it. It sounds like. So how did you craft the better way to handle rideshare?
Right. So, first I addressed the issue of the drivers, right? So they were complaining that they weren't getting paid enough for what they were going through. So after having driver focus groups and everything, they were saying that they were getting about 50% of the fare, which was probably about what I was getting when I was doing my ride. So we came up with a pay rate of 71% for the drivers. So that is an increase from what the drivers are getting now. So then we address the passengers complaining about the no surge pricing, right? So we put in the surge pricing. So now we implemented no surge pricing at all. So we're going to have transparent pricing for all the passengers. So no matter if it's raining or snowing or anything, the price is going to stay the same. Now, also on the passenger side, they have issues with safety because the proper driver picking them up. So we implemented a patented biometric identifier for the driver. So when he comes to pick you up and he presses the arrive button, he has to pass the facial recognition on the application. You then get a notification as for the passengers stating that it's safe to proceed to the vehicle. Your driver has been verified. So they know they're getting into the proper vehicle with the proper driver. The one that has been... Yeah, it's been an issue. You could check on the internet. There's lawsuits all over the place going on where not the proper driver has picked people up. So,
wow, okay,
yeah. I mean, as far as these other rideshare apps are concerned, as far as I know, that you could lose your phone and anybody could turn on that driver app and be on their way to pick you up.
Sure,
it's kind of weird. So
that's a big deal. So what's been, so you're in the middle of implementation. What do the drivers think about the 71%? What's their take on that?
Oh, they love it because I've had focus groups with these drivers, but we also have it, two more things that we have in the application. Sure. We have a patented 5% referral for both the passengers and drivers. So anybody that's you refer to use our application, and they use the rideshare service after you refer them, you then receive 5% commission on the fare every time they use it.
Oh.
So the drivers are completely ecstatic about this because now they can leverage their income. They can make money while they're sleeping. If a driver refers 10, 20, 30 drivers and they're all on the road, they're making money off of those drivers. And that's... While we're giving the drivers the 71%, we're giving up to another 10% back on the referrals side. And the passengers...
None of the other rideshare services have this referral system?
No, they don't. They don't. We have this patented, so they can't use it.
That's great.
Yeah, and as far as the passengers are concerned, they can use that 5% referral on their friends and family that they tell to use the application for future rides. So will be getting free rides down the road. It'll just stay in their e-wallet and they could use that for rides in the future.
That's a big deal. That's great.
Yeah. And then we formed a website, yourdrivers.org, and it's a community-based website, so the passengers and drivers can go on there and comment, so we can listen to our passengers and listen to our drivers to enhance this application as we're moving forward, because we made it for the community to work together. We didn't make it just to make money. We made it to enhance people's lives and help these drivers. And we're going to have accountants on there, accounting firms on there to help them with their taxes and help them. Hopefully insurance companies will get on there and help them with their insurance. Maybe we can cut down that for them, and just to benefit everybody in the long run.
That's great. What do you think so we talked about the drivers, they're getting better pay. They're treated more fairly compensation wise. The consumers, you mentioned surge pricing being eliminated. Do you feel like the rates for fares are also competitive with the other rideshare networks?
Yes, we've been comparing our rates now for almost 4.5, 5 months now, and we feel we're right in the ballpark of everything, but they can be adjusted as we're moving along, and that's why we have the community website to make sure that we're right in the ballpark. But you have to start somewhere, you have to crawl before you walk,
Right.
And that's what we're doing. It's pretty simple. It's pretty simple. And we don't have to do all this stuff that, these algorithms and these changing of prices and the disparity is just kind of crazy. I had a driver tell me last week in Manhattan, he said that when he was driving for one of these companies, they had triple the price for the passenger in a 2-block diameter in Manhattan. Triple the price. And what they did was he got the ride, but he was 2.5 blocks away. So he got the ride at the regular price as the driver, and the passenger paid triple the price.
Wow.
So these kind of things are going on all the time, I would imagine, and that's why the drivers are really upset.
Yeah. So a driver could, I know because I've seen lots of drivers, they could be driving for several companies at the same time, right? They could have 2 or 3 apps running.
Yeah, they're independent contractors, so they could.
Okay. So
I can tell you another experience I had in Hoboken. I was driving down there, and it was about 6 o'clock in the morning, and the supermarket wasn't open, and the parking lot was filled with cars. And I said, what is going on here? And I drove in there, and there were all these drivers in there, all Lyft and Uber drivers. I go, what are you guys doing? And they go, are you driving? And I go, yeah. They go, come over here, turn off your app, turn off your driver app. And I go, what are you guys doing? And they said, you got to turn off your driver app. We're going to manipulate the surge pricing.
No.
And we're gonna put on our passenger app and wait till it doubles and triples, and then we're gonna turn on our driver apps. So they were actually manipulating the surge pricing while they were in Hoboken. I was like, this is incredible. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Because they weren't getting paid enough.
Right. So it's easily, I don't know.
Yeah, they can manipulate it,
I guess. Right. I know you started in New York. Is that correct? Are you only in New York City right now?
Yeah, we're only in the 5 boroughs. That's where we're starting. Yes.
Okay. As we record this, it's just about August of 2025. And so when you're listening to this at home, it may be a different time. But clearly in New York, at this point, if you want to try out the YUR Driver Network, you certainly can. It's YUR, YUR, YUR Driver Network, and you can download that in the App Store today.
Yeah, YUR Drivers Network. And the passenger app is YUR Ride with 2 R's, YURRIDE.
So what's the let's talk about consumers for a second. Consumers automatically gravitate to a couple of the big apps that are already out there. Well, what's your plan to get in front of other consumers? How are you gonna get your name well known in front of consumers for rideshare, at least in the New York City area?
Well, we're hoping that the word of mouth is going to continue. It started pretty well so far. We've got about almost 1,500 passengers, which I know is really nothing, but we just started. And we've got about 1,600 drivers that have signed up, and we're getting more every day. But we have a public relations firm, Chris Roslin and Associates, that's helping us. Hopefully people will see your podcast or listen to your podcast here. I've done an article with medium.com that should be coming out next, sometime in August, hopefully. We're going to hire an advertising agency in New York and hopefully get some billboards on some buses and billboards up in New York. And we're looking to hire some brand ambassadors to go throughout the city. Hopefully do some more podcasts. We have an Instagram page, a TikTok, and a Facebook page. And hopefully the word will spread. Like I said, we got to crawl before we run. And and it's made for a community of people, and I think it's going to disrupt the industry, and I think people will appreciate it. It's not made just to be to open up on Wall Street and be this big thing. It's made to help people and help people have a better life and a better experience at the whole thing.
Sure. When drivers have skin in the game, like they're gonna have their own virtual black car base, really, through our base in New York, because they're gonna have drivers that are gonna be really underneath them where they're making commission from. Right. So it's really a game changer for the drivers, and they're really gonna respect the game a lot. Airports are a hassle. What's it like working with the airports to drive in there? What's that process like?
Yeah, there's a form we have to fill out for the airports. We didn't get there yet, but I want to tell you something, what they do. With our application, the nearest driver that's nearest to you is going to get the ping from the passenger. What happens at these stadiums and at these events and at the airports is they have an algorithm where they give the rides to drivers that accept more rides and drive slower. Now, I'm going to give you, for instance, I've done a lot of testing with Uber and Lyft drivers in New Jersey, and I've been standing right next to them. So we did a lot of rides ourselves, and I did rides with them, and I would try and ping the driver that was standing right next to me. And it would take me 5 or 6 times to get the driver that was standing next to me, because his rating on acceptance was 84, and they would give me a guy 4 miles away because his rating and acceptance was higher than the guy that was standing next to me. So what happens at these stadiums and everything else and at the airport is they're pinging drivers that aren't at the airport when drivers are waiting at the airport to pick people up. So you have all this traffic and all this convoluted stuff going on because they're not pinging the drivers that are at the airport.
So again, tell us what's different about your network. If I'm exiting a Yankees game and I'm calling
you're going to get
a
a car that's right there. If he's there, you're not going to get a guy that's 2 miles away.
Right.
And that's what they're doing. They're causing their own congestion. They're causing their own problems. And then they're raising the fares on top of that, because they're saying there's traffic.
Right.
So it's really a messed up situation.
And cancellations too. I think we've all been a victim a victim's a hard word to say. Probably a little harsh, but you call for a car and then you wait and then it cancels on you. Right. Or they cancel.
And I've seen drivers do that in Hoboken, and they've canceled on people. And they say, I cancel on them because I wait for the surge pricing. And they do that a lot. They cancel because they're waiting for the surge pricing, and they know it's going to come.
That won't happen quite as much with your network, it sounds like.
No, it's not going to happen at all because the price is not going to change.
Right.
Because the drivers are going to leverage their income. They're going to make more money, even though the prices aren't changing, because they have that 5% referral built in.
Right. So let's talk about drivers for a second. You've talked about the referral system. You've talked about the more equitable pricing for consumers, but how do you plan on attracting new drivers? Do you think? Tell me is your pitch to drivers about the increased pay, or is the safety a big deal? What's the biggest driver? I used the word twice. What's the biggest attractant for a driver to join the YUR network?
Yeah, for the 71% in pay, which is almost a 20% boost in the pay. So you don't have to worry about that surcharge pricing, really. And then you have that 5% kicker on the referral. So let me just give you for instance, you refer a driver and he does $1,000 in fares per week in New York, which is really nothing. He'll do it in 2 to 3 days. Okay. You're earning an extra $50 a week from that driver for doing nothing. Now you could take that and get 10 guys. Now you're making $500 a week more.
Sure.
And now, you know, there's only 13,300 cabs in New York. You know how many TLC drivers there are registered?
No, how many?
Over 180,000.
Right, because there's only so many medallions, right? They still use the medallion system for the taxis, right?
For the taxis, yes, but there's 183,000 TLC drivers that are driving rideshare. So you have all these drivers that can be referred.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
And they do a million rides a day, Brian. A million rides a day in the 5 boroughs.
Wow.
It's a lot of money.
What about safety? Are they interested? Is the safety piece that you mentioned, the biometric safety?
They all like it.
Drivers like?
They like it. They don't mind it at all.
It's good.
And, you know, you want people like that. You don't want people who are, I don't want to put my face on the app when I'm picking up a person, because you know they're going to do something malfeasant.
Sure.
You don't need them in your business. You don't want them.
You know, one of the things in the news here in New York City is the pricing for entering Midtown Manhattan. You know, as you drive into Midtown Manhattan, the consumers charge $9, right, to enter the congestion zone.
Right, below 60.
And for those of you who don't know, the congestion pricing is what it's called, and it's anywhere south of, I think, 62nd Street on Manhattan.
Yeah. I think it's 60th Street.
60th, yeah. If you enter from north, south, east, or west, you are automatically billed $9 during the day. How does the YUR network deal with the congestion pricing?
So this is something that Uber and Lyft had lobbied for. They lobbied for this, actually, because when you're in a rideshare car, you only get charged $1.50. So they actually lobbied for this. So we're the same situation. You only get charged $1.50 below 60th Street when you enter. So, yeah, they actually spent millions of dollars to lobby for that, so that people wouldn't.
In the same boat there.
So yeah, so we're in the same boat. They knock every door down, and we're just walking right through.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest challenge facing the YUR Drivers Network? Is there what obstacles do you need to overcome to grow the company?
Well, basically, it's just acquiring the passengers and acquiring more drivers and just getting the word out. And it's moving slowly, but it's moving steadily. So I figure in a couple of months, we're going to start advertising really hard for our company within a month or so, and really try to blow this thing up the way it should be.
That's
so,
awesome.
We don't want to make any mistakes. You know what I mean? So
sure.
It's a catch-22 with the passengers and with the drivers. You have to have the same amount going both ways. So we're trying to grow them equally, you know, and, we don't want passengers not being able to get a ride, and we don't want drivers not being able to get a passenger to get a ride. You know what I mean? So it's a catch-22. Sure. It's a hard thing to do. And, you know, we're going up against two giants, right? So but, you know, I know that drivers are really, really have had it with what they've gone through with these companies, because I really they don't feel like they're really being taken care of.
Well, they have definitely worked hard. I can tell you, I've been in many ride shares with incredibly nice, kind drivers who get me where I need to be, to the doctor. When our dog was sick, you know, rushing us to the vet. We've all had those experiences, right? Yeah. So I do hope that everyone gets treated fairly. So let's look ahead a couple of years, Lewis. New York's killing it. You got the 5 boroughs locked down. What's next? Where do you can just, as a secret, no one's listening to this anyway, so you can tell me, Lewis. Where do you head next? How do you grow? Where do you go?
Well, I can tell you this. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the rideshare guy. He did one video on our company, and since he did that video, I've gotten emails from drivers, and I've had drivers trying to sign up all over the country, from Illinois, Pennsylvania, California, Texas, Ohio. It's been crazy. Please bring your company here. Please bring it there. It's just been crazy, but I would think that I don't want to say a city off a hand where we might move next, but the thing about this is that we're leaving 10% of the income in this, the revenue that's being done in this industry, in the city where it's being done, for the passengers and for the drivers. Right. And I really feel that it's gonna help the city itself, because the money's staying there. It's not being sucked out of the city and taken to some corporation somewhere. That 10% of that money, it turns out to be a lot of money where people can spend in that city. And I'm hoping that cities invite us to come.
I hope so too. And New York's not a cheap city, right?
No.
So yeah, right. So you undoubtedly, as a startup, Lewis, you're putting in a lot of time into this project. And I admire CEOs and founders who really, lift up their bootstraps and they do the work.
Well,
so
thank you.
I'm really impressed. It's I've done it myself, and so it's really impressive. When
it's
you're
a lot
not
of hard work.
It is. When you're not working on this project, what do you like to do for fun?
Oh, I play golf and I play the guitar.
Oh, that's awesome.
And fish.
That's great.
So yeah, I've got 3 good habits there. 3 good, nice little getaways. So I do a little recording. I'll do recording. I'll do all the parts of the guitar on, and record the different tracks and record songs myself and stuff like that.
That's good. Well, this is Conversations with Giants, and today we're talking to Lewis Palucci, the founder of the YUR Drivers Network. And you can find the YUR Ride app in all the app stores, wherever you want to go. Unfortunately, as of recording of this podcast, you can only do that in New York City. But if you are anywhere and you know someone in New York, you should tell them to download the app, and they can earn their 5% too, right, Lewis?
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. You can download it from anywhere, and you can refer anybody in New York to use it. When they're in New York, they use it. You make 5%.
How fulfilling is this to you, Lewis, to build this company from the ground up?
It's a pretty cool thing, sometimes you think about your life and what you're doing with it and what's the importance of it, and this can really change a lot of people's life and bring a lot of people different meanings to their lives, and that's really one of the fulfilling parts about this whole thing. So I'm hoping it gets off the ground in the right way, and a lot of people appreciate it, and it makes me feel pretty good.
That's good. That's great. Well, remind our audience how they can join the YUR Drivers Network.
You can go to yourdriversnetwork.com. That's the website, YURDriversNetwork.com. Or you can go to the App Store and search YUR Drivers or YUR Ride. That's YURRIDE. Or the Google Play Store. And you can download the app there. And you can check it out. You'll have all your referrals. They wind up in your back office on your app. You can check them. You can see your percentages of what you're earning. And you can have a lot of fun with it. And that's it.
Good. Lewis, that's awesome. I think we all are using ride shares. Some of us more often than others at airports. And, like I mentioned before, to get to the doctor, if you live in New York City, not a lot of people have cars. So using ride share or the public transportation is the really only way to get around. So I really do hope that you gain some ground here in New York City. It sounds like you're treating the drivers fair and the consumers. And I wish you all the best in growing your company.
Oh, thanks so much, Brian. It was great talking to you. Thanks so much.
It's great. Thanks, Lewis.
All right. Thank you.
This episode of Conversations with Giants is brought to you by CCB Marketing, a global marketing agency helping brands and organizations grow through smart strategy, bold creative, and powerful digital execution. Learn more at ccbmarketing.net. This episode of Conversations with Giants is brought to you by CCB Marketing, a global marketing agency helping brands and organizations grow through smart strategy, bold creative, and powerful digital execution. Learn more at ccbmarketing.net.
Okay, folks, that's it. Now, I just want to say this before we go.
Hello, my name is Lou.
Before we go to the your comments and any questions you might have, Lou been working on this for over 5 years. Spent well over $1 million between the app and the attorneys and everything, and it's ready. It's ready to go. And like I said, if anybody wants any more information just about this, just give me a call at this number, and we'll hook you right up. Answer any questions you might have. Okay, now we'll go to some comments. And let me say hello to everybody. We'll go right down the line. Hi, Larry. Hi, Sundance. Tommy Stiggs. Good evening. Good evening, Tommy. Chatting with Stacks, my friend. Stacks. Hi, Larry. How you doing, my friend? I'm doing fine. Hope you're doing well, too. Good guy. Hi, Tommy. There goes the social club again. Hi, Larry. Hi, Angelique. Who was the girl that bought my book that was supposed to tell me how? If it was Angelique, I don't know. Okay, Sundance. Larry, for me to go a little less than a mile, it cost me $10. To go to your house is $29 one way. It's a good business. That business is some business. And I really believe that Lou's company is going to take it over. There's a lot of stuff going on there with Uber and Lyft. A lot of people very unhappy. And what I said in the beginning is very, very true. And I think he's gonna be okay, Lou. Okay. Here's a new guy, Emmanuel Spalatro. Good evening, Larry. Mr. Rolla. Permission to enter the chat. Well, I don't know what that means. You're already in the chat. Oh, you know what? Somebody told me today that somewhere on this platform, there's a thing that says Super Chat. And when you hit it, you got to pay for it. I don't want nobody paying for nothing. Don't go into this Super Chat. I don't know who put it there, but I think it was Sundance told me that there's a Super Chat. I don't see it on my screen. I don't, but she says it's there. I just want to tell everybody, I don't want no money. I don't want nobody's money. I don't know what this Super Chat does. If anybody wants to leave a message, you go. So, Emmanuel, I don't know what that means, permission to enter the chat. You can come on to the chat anytime you want. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means, but, you're in the comments section. I don't know what Super Chat means, but if you have to pay for it, you do what you want, but I don't want no money. I don't need no money. I'm fine. Okay. And thanks for listening in, Manuel. Okay, let's see. Sundance, highest spot. Oh, I guess you know this guy. Okay. And he says, hello, Sundance. Okay, hello, and Angelique. Okay, there's a social club is starting. Bonus at Tommy Steaks. Okay, here we go. Thomas Stiggs is still in the chat. Okay, what's this say? Angelique, I have to talk to him about desserts. I can't believe that he prefers lava cake and crumb cake over cannolis. As okay, we're going to start a dating site here too. We're going to have anything goes, including dating. I'm not much of a fan of cannolis, but I always wanted to try. Okay, this is all good. This is like the Tommy Stig show. And my friend Jesse Black. Hi, Larry. I see that wrench there. Keep that wrench handy. Even though I really want to see them people that have these comments. Okay, let's see. That was me, Larry. I bought your book, and I have to tell you my honest review. I started the book. You started it. Okay. I have to tell you my honest review. Okay. We'll wait for it. Okay. Hi, David. Hi, Larry. Did you ever meet Sammy the Bull or have any business with him? No. No. I had no. Any problem I might have had with him in some business I did in his construction business at the Gregory Hotel in Brooklyn. It was a major job. But there was a friend of mine that was in charge. He was the contractor, and before anything became a problem, it was solved. So it was no. So I never met Sammy. Okay, Jesse Black, $10. What is that, Jesse Black? What's the $10 for? I don't know what that means. I don't want any money. I don't want no money. I don't want nothing. Just listen in. Let's have some fun. That's what this is all about. And Thursday, I think Thursday we're going to talk about we're going to have back on Michael and Scott and Freddie, and I think that's what Freddie's putting together. And we're going to talk about the Hamiltonian and the Travers and a whole bunch of horse races that happened this weekend. So that'll give you our opinion on what happened. Okay, I was just being courteous and a gentleman, Larry. That's fine. Okay. Or Michael Francis. No. One time when I was in Florida, Michael was in Florida at the time, and he was doing some movies down there. And I went to see him. And they had a couple of big guys at the door. I think it was in some kind of bungalow or something. I don't remember. All I know is that I says, I need to see Michael. And they said, your name and this and that. And he says, okay, just wait here. And I waited for about a half hour, 40 minutes. And I just left. So I never got to see him. But he was pretty busy back in them days. And I think he was making some movies down there. So I never got a chance to meet him. You guys got to understand that my business was not the mob. I wasn't in the mob. Only because of what I was doing, I met a lot of mob guys and eventually their bosses. And that's my only relationship with the mob was because of the information I could supply or what I was. But that's it. I wasn't a member of the mob. The least amount of mob guys I knew was better for me. I didn't want to. Wasn't my thing. I knew the top guys. That was it. That was enough for me. Because some of them bottom guys, the associates, and some of them, they're desperate. They're all out there to make some money, and it was tough. Okay, did you have any business with him? No, I did not. No. Maybe it's overdue, Vig. I paid enough Vig in my life. If I had the money I paid in Vig, God, it had to be a lot of money. We're talking about 4 years, at 15,000 a week. Let's say 15,000 a week times 52 weeks. So 15,000. Let's see. 15. I got a calculator here. I don't know if it'll work. It won't work. It don't work. But 15,000 a year for 52 weeks for 4 years. A lot of money in the 70s. Okay. Hi, Angelique. Jesse Black. Jesse Black has the wrench. And David Schneider. How did Kabert die? That ain't how you spell it, but how did Kabert die? I'm sure he means Kabert. He died in jail. He died in jail. He was given life, I think. He died in jail. Okay, that's it. Okay, folks, this is over because I'm tired. I was up all night, and I'm going to bed. So, Manuel, Larry, did you ever run into Vinny Ocean or any members of the No. Like I said, that wasn't my thing. It wasn't my thing. I did my own thing ever since I was. The only mob guys I ran into was growing up very, very young. Got right out of that because it wasn't my thing to follow the leader or ask permission to do anything. I was my own guy. And the only time I got involved with them is when I had that problem, and when I was fixing all them races, and the fact that I was out every night because my love is music, and back then in the 70s and 60s and 80s, that they owned all the nightclubs. Every nightclub, every good restaurant was owned by a mob guy, from the Copa to the smallest place on the corner. They all had the top bands. And that's where I was. So eventually, they all know who you are. They all know what you do, and it was good. I wound up meeting the top guys, and it kept me. And they kind of kept the lower guys away from me. So I had the only people I met in Jersey was Kabert and that crew, and that's where I became friendly with Juicy, but I wasn't involved. Okay, did you get your blood work back yet? No, Howard, I didn't. They said it takes 2 weeks, and they don't tell me. I have a doctor's appointment in 2 weeks from the day of the blood, so I go in there, and then she tells me if it's good or bad, and that's when I'll find out. I'll let you all know because of the ivermectin. And if just 10 days of ivermectin cleared that whole thing up, it's amazing. So I'm anxious to find out what it is. And if it did come back, I'll just continue with the ivermectin. And if it didn't come back, it's amazing that this ivermectin worked the way it worked. So I'm anxious to see what the results are. Okay, get some rest, Larry. Have a good night. I will, Angelique. As soon as I finish this, I'm going downstairs. I'm going to have my ice cream. Okay, Michael, Larry, did you like motorcycles? Ride any? Yeah, when I think I was 17, 16 years old, something like that. I had a motorcycle, and I had a date in the city. And they took the motorcycle to the city. I went over the 59th Street Bridge. And back in them days, the 59th Street, it's not like this no more, but back then it was. The whole center of the bridge was graded, and it started to rain. And I was getting all wet. I was going to pick up a date, and then I hit the grade on the 59th Street Bridge. The motorcycle starts spinning and sliding and everything else. I made a U-turn, and I come right back home. I didn't go out on a date. I changed my clothes, and I got rid of the motorcycle the next day. Fuck that. I bought a car. Enjoy the ice cream. I will. I toast 2 waffles, frozen waffles, and then I put the Haagen-Dazs ice cream inside, and I make it like an ice cream sandwich. Which flavor? I enjoy chocolate mint. No, just plain chocolate inside of 2 waffles. And if I get the pops, I get Haagen-Dazs dark chocolate with chocolate inside. Delicious. Okay, that's it. I'm going. Thank you all for coming. And like I said, anybody have any and want to know any more about that YUR Ride business, just contact me. It's going to be a major, major home run. Okay, folks. Good night. I'm gonna leave with my favorite song that was written for me. Listen to the words, and it's so true. Good night, everybody.
Dump those grudges, ditch those judges. They're just weighing you down. Drop the haters, procrastinators, 'cause one man's smile is just another one's frown. When it's time for the end, ain't no warning, my friend. One day you're here, next stop the pearly gates. So listen close to what I'm saying. Lighten up, it's getting late. Dump collections, self-reflections, they're just covered in dust. Why obsess, worry or stress? Just ask yourself, what's the fuss? When your doctor calls you on a Sunday afternoon, gonna be a blue Monday, you'll be howling at the moon. You know you never can cheat fate. Lighten up, it's getting late. Forget bling and glitter, text and Twitter. Don't need it to make my case. Say it old school, face to face. Dump the users, soul abusers, turn and walk away. Give yourself a kick in the ass, then raise your glass. Let's toast to the past and make the most of today. Keep the faith, rise above, do the things that you love. Find a reason every day to celebrate. So listen close to what I'm saying. Lighten up, it's getting late. Blast, live it full, life goes fast. You're carrying around too much dead weight. All the simple things are all that matter. Lighten up, it's getting late. Oh, what the hell? IGL. Oh, lighten up, it's getting late.